Morning, how are you?
Tim did let me know about that.
Morning. I gotta get here early. I know. She said, why are you doing that? I said, you put on it.
So you had a conversation with you today.
This one has the familiar was because Chance Turner had some substantial comments as well. So I figured a couple of them might be deal breakers.
I think we're going to be good. Where is the landscape? Here. We got
Yeah, Chance was Chance's issues. Unfortunately, it could be his discretion, but I think we just have to put it right in there.
right. And we were going to do it'd be a county agreement. Highway agreement.
Right.
Yeah.
Turn it on. Yes.
Yeah. Moving request. Conditional.
This one.
Karen, are we ready? Good morning. Welcome to the October 4th, 2017 Walton County Tactical Review Committee meeting. We have minutes this morning to approve from September 6th. Do we have any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Ben, do we have a second? Second. We got a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, motion is approved. Do we have any announcements this morning, Karen? Okay, we'll move right into our agenda this morning. Item number 1 is the Nakuse Kids Camp. Request to approve by development order, and this is being reviewed by Rita.
Yes, good morning. Rita Badhunyeri from the Planning Department. The Nokus Kids Camp is a minor development order application submitted by Curtis Mist, requesting to develop a 2,000 square foot building and a kids campground on an approximately 1 acre development parcel with the future land use of general agriculture. This project is located on Highway 20, nearby the Biophilia Center. We have reviewed this project and we do not have any outstanding technical questions or comments. We need a revised survey, which I believe the applicant has it, but that's the only outstanding issue on this project. There's no other department has any outstanding comments on it.
Thank you, Rita. Curtis?
I think we're good to go. We deliver the survey and whatever other paperwork we need to deliver.
Okay.
So,
Since this is a minor development order and this will be final agency action after this committee makes a recommendation to the director, we'll open a public hearing on this particular project. Is there anyone from our audience that wishes to make a comment about this proposed development order? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and we'll move to a vote of the committee. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
We've got 2 seconds. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Motion carries. This item will move forward.
Mac, I'm abstaining for all North Walton projects from voting.
Okay, thank you. Next item is Live Oak Landing check-in office, and this is a North Walton, or actually it will be a South Central Walton project when we move into the new comp plan. Request approved by development order. This also has been reviewed by Rita.
Yes, this minor development order application to annex an outside parcel to the existing campground. We did not receive the resubmittal that we requested last TRC, so we were not able to review. I would request to continue this project to the next TRC.
Okay, is the applicant present?
No.
Seeing no one's here from the applicant side to rebut that request, do we have a motion to continue?
Motion to continue.
Had a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Anna. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, the motion carries. We'll continue this item to the November Technical Review Committee meeting, first Wednesday at 8:30 in this room. That brings us to item number 3, the Palmetto Trace Townhomes. Request to approve a final order. It's been reviewed by Tim Brown, and this is a major development.
Yeah, good morning. This is a request for 8 townhomes on 1.16 acres with the future land use of neighborhood infill. It's located on the west side of Don Bishop Road, north of Highway 98 and south of Hackberry Way. This was continued from last month, the last TRC meeting. We have not received a resubmittal on this project since that meeting, so we request, or I request, that it be continued to next month's meeting.
Thank you, Tim. Is the applicant present?
No, the applicant's not present.
Okay, do we have a motion to continue to next month? Make a motion to continue to next month. Motion by Sammy. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ben. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, this motion is carried and will be continued to next month. That brings us to item number 4, the South Walton Commerce Park, Lot 13, request to approve by final order. This is a major development order application reviewed by Bob Barranchi.
Mr. Chair, this is a request for a major development order to construct an office, warehouse, bicycle repair, brewery, and rental dining. The building totals will be 17,758 square feet. It is in the business park, and there are very minor comments to address, and the applicant, a representative for the applicant, is here to speak.
Thank you, Bob.
We don't have any concerns about the comments. They all, as Bob said, they're minor and they're easy to address.
Can you state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Blake Furby, F-U-R-B-E-E.
Thank you. Any further discussion? This is a major development, so we'll go to the Planning Commission and the Board of County Commissioners for final action. Do we have a motion this morning? Do we have a recommended motion, Bob?
Oh, I make a motion to conditionally approve pending resubmittal.
Do we have a motion from the dais?
So moved.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, this item's moved forward, subject to satisfaction of comments prior to advertising for Planning Commission. That brings us to item number 5, the Crest. This is a minor development order application reviewed by Bob Barranchi.
Yes, sir. And the applicant's representative is here. This is a development for multifamily residential projects of less than 30 dwelling units. It's a major development order application by Emerald Coast on behalf of KAPA Breeze LLC. It's developed 9 townhomes on 1.5 plus or minus acres with a future land use of village mixed use. And the applicant is here to address any comments you may have.
Thank you, Bob.
Sean Humphrey, Humphry, and we have no questions on the comments.
Thank you, Sean. Any further discussion on this particular development application? Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to conditionally approve pending successful resubmittal of the project.
Do we have a motion from the dais?
So moved.
Motion by Anna, second.
Second.
Second by Ben. Any further discussion? Yes, ma'am.
Can I just ask one question? What's the cross street on 38 West? What's it near?
I think it's Eastern Lake Road.
Pardon me?
Eastern Lake Road.
Thanks.
Since this is a minor development order application, we're going to open up a public hearing. Are there any comments from our public in attendance this morning? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Again, this is a minor development order application. Do we have a motion from the dais?
We'll motion to approve, subject to responding to all comments satisfactorily.
Second.
We have a second by Ben. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, subject to satisfaction of comments, this item will move to development order. This brings us to agenda item number 6, the Nicias Small Scale Amendment. Request to approve by ordinance. This has been reviewed by Bob Barranchi.
Mr. Chair, because there's major elements missing in this small scale application, staff would recommend to continue to the next TRC to allow the applicant a chance to resubmit and meet those requirements.
Thank you, Bob.
Tom Talty for ECM Engineering. We concur.
Thank you, Tom. Any further discussion on this item? Do we have a motion to continue to the November TRC meeting?
Motion to continue.
Motion by Ben. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Sammy. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, likewise? Hearing none, this motion carries. This item is continued to the November TRC meeting at 8:30 in this room. That brings us to item number 7, the Miller's Crossing plat. This is a request to approve by final plat. Subject to the approval of this committee, this will move to the Board of County Commissioners for final action. It's been reviewed by Bob Barante.
Mr. Chair, this final plat application is asking to plat 72 multifamily units of the Miller's Crossing plat. The final order was approved previously. It's on 19.66 plus or minus acres with a future land use of Town Center 1. There are very few comments, but there are comments from the Public Works, both engineering and surveyor. So a resubmittal will be required before we can move it on to the Board of County Commissioners.
Thank you. Do we have anyone from the applicant?
David Smith's actually doing this for us, but I'll sit in for him since he's not here yet. We did get the comments. He forwarded them to me and didn't have any questions. Don't have any problem satisfying any of them. So.
Scott Jenkins for the applicant.
Oh, sorry, Scott Jenkins.
Thank you. Do we have any further discussion of this particular item? Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to conditionally approve the plat pending successful resubmittal of the project, and then once the comments have been addressed, schedule it to move it to the BCC for final approval.
Thank you, Bob. Do we have a motion from the dais?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Second by Sammy. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, this motion carries. Subject to satisfaction of comments, this will move to the Board of County Commissioners upon that. This brings us to item number 8. This is the Cypress Lake proposed development. This is a major development order application submitted by Dewberry. Reviewed by Bob Barante. Bob?
Sir, the applicant is requesting approval to subdivide parcel and sell residential lots as well as the leasing of commercial space on 99 residential lots on 22.36 plus or minus acres with a future land use of neighborhood infill. There are some agency comments that are pretty major, so staff made sure that the applicant got the process. Staff has no issues with the comments as long as they're addressed and resubmitted.
Thank you, Bob. Comments from applicant?
Yeah, Bill Metadier with Dewberry Engineers, representing the agent for the applicant on this project. We received the comments, we reviewed the comments. A few of the Public Works comments we'd like to go over at this time. I don't think any of them are major to hold us up as far as resubmittal. We just need some clarification. If you look at item number 9, it deals with a maximum of 3 access points allowed for a continuous frontage of 600 feet or more. We have about 1,240 feet of frontage, and we're showing 4 proposed access points. This is a PUD. I don't know if it's something we can address in the PUD documents. However, the minimum spacing on 30A is 50 feet driveway spacing, and our smallest separation is 260 feet. We feel that the circulation is for pedestrian safety as well as conflicts between the residential units and the commercial units, because this is a mixed-use development. So we'd like to have staff consider the 4 access points. We also have a tram stop that we're proposing in the middle of the development as well.
Comment about the access points?
I did discuss this with several of the engineers at Public Works. Per the Land Development Code, it does have a maximum, and we do understand that. I've heard rumblings that this is a PUD, but the documentation we received had no PUD documentation, so I don't know if this could be addressed with a variance. That may be a MAC question on that. And it may be beneficial to sit down to discuss with our traffic engineer your intent, but when we looked at this, the code pretty much allows 1 access point, and then if you're over 600 linear foot of continuous frontage, it allows 2 additional at the discretion of the county engineer for a maximum of 3. So that's why we made the comment.
Right, and we understand that. We also had an extensive traffic study done because of the size of the development and the intensity with the commercial and the residential. And so we're providing turn lanes for safety as well as sidewalks for pedestrian safety, the tram stop, and then we have the multi-use path on the east side of 30A. So if we can address it as a variance for the Land Development Code section here, or if it's something we can address in the PUD documents, we do that. We would like to do that as well.
This is Dana Matthews, also for the applicant. It's my understanding this application was submitted simultaneously as a development order application and PUD. And we've had several meetings with staff prior to filing the original application, and then once we have the staff comments and when we filed for a resubmittal, we had meetings because we wanted to make sure that we could address any potential staff comment before the actual before we got to TRC, and there's been 4 access points. So I don't know, I can't tell you what the quote PUD documents are that you're referring to, Ms. Richmond, but I know that this was filed as that, we paid fees as it, and it was my understanding that staff, at least the planning staff, would seem to be okay with it as and you know, with a PUD you can do variances, so within the PUD documents itself as opposed to going through the Board of Adjustments. So we were looking for some clarity.
Mr. Chair, as we talked yesterday, and we concur with Anna, it was submitted as a major project. There's no mention of a PUD. The only mention on the PUD was actually on the title of the compatibility analysis. So we can address that in between TRC and the Planning Commission, but we would have to amend it and make it a PUD application.
Was the PUD fee or review fee to the school board paid on this project?
It was sent to the school board. I have not received anything from the school board.
But on the submittal documents, did they pay a fee for a PUD review?
I'm not sure. I will have to check that.
I believe we did submit a check for the PUD review for the school board. If you recall, we submitted the PUD documents with the major development order as well as the large-scale amendment originally, and so we withdrew the large-scale amendment, so the PUD submittal was still valid under our assumptions.
We need to confirm that this has actually been submitted as a PUD. That's certainly something we can do after this particular meeting. Given that this particular project was reviewed by Public Works for 2 reasons. One, there are a large amount of work to improve the right-of-way, which is within their purview. The second reason is because our contract engineering reviewer is the actual agent on this particular project, so Public Works has to do the engineering planning review. There are a number of comments from Public Works. Why don't I suggest that we have a special meeting with Public Works and the applicant and planning staff to work out any details that are incomplete on this particular project prior to moving it forward to Planning Commission. We can probably conditionally approve it here today, subject to working out these details prior to advertising for planning commission.
We would accept that, and we were prepared to meet as expeditiously as staff and public works is available.
Is that acceptable to planning staff?
Yes, sir. My proposed motion was to conditionally approve, but we can amend it to conditionally approve pending the successful meeting with Public Works, the applicant, and planning staff.
Acceptable to Public Works?
That's fine with us.
Could we have a motion to that effect?
I'd like to make a motion to conditionally approve it pending the successful meeting with Public Works, planning staff, and applicant, and then move the project forward.
I'll make that motion. That's fine.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to conditionally approve this project, subject to a meeting with Public Works, the applicant, and planning staff to work out the remaining details prior to advertising for the planning commission. Any further discussion? And this will be moving to planning commission and board of county commissioners for final approval once conditionally approved by this particular board. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Motion carries. We'll schedule that meeting just as soon as we can.
Thank you.
That brings us to item number 9, Tridocs, request approved by minor development order, and this one has been reviewed by Jason Catalano.
Thank you. I don't know if there's anyone for the applicant here. This is a minor development order requesting approval to authorize the placement of fill material on plus or minus 1.754 acres with a future land use of coastal center. The project is located on Mac Bayou Road. It's approximately a third of a mile north of 98. During the review, let me back up. There is an active code case on the property for operating without a development order as a result of them trying to execute their FDEP and Army Corps permits to dredge and fill the project site. There was no permit or development order issued from the county to do that work, which resulted in the code case. So this application was a result of that code case trying to get the development order for them to be able to dredge and fill that site. During our review, staff felt that the submitted plans didn't comply with the comprehensive plan regarding impacting wetlands because there was no actual development plan submitted. The intent of the owner was just to dredge and fill the parcel. The comp plan talks about avoidable impacts to wetlands, and staff felt that we were unable to make a determination if these impacts were avoidable or unavoidable based on the fact that we don't know what's being proposed. When we do impact wetlands, it reduces the density allowance as well as the impervious surface allowances drastically. And so not knowing what is being proposed, we didn't feel that there was any way for us to do an actual review of the project. So the majority of the comments were from our environmental planner, specifically regarding the wetland impacts, and then there's also concern with from the flood zone impacts as well, as far as how much fill will be presented, because there are limitations on that as well, and the implications that has on stormwater. So the recommendation at this time is either to deny the project or to table it based on what the intent of the applicant was. If they wanted to try to present, actually submit a development plan for us to review, then I would recommend that we table it until that can be done. I have not heard back from the applicant, and I was hoping they would be here today, but otherwise the recommendation would be just to deny it. If that's the case, there is the code enforcement case that is active, and which is going to trigger them to start to take to move forward with their proceedings as well. So
Has code enforcement issued a stop work order on the actual work that was underway?
I don't know if an actual stop work order was issued. All work has stopped. We verified that. We went out on site. The site has already been cleared and some fill material has already been brought on site, but there were other piles of material that were intended to be spread that are still there existing. So no other work has taken place since we've contacted them. I don't know if officially if there was a stop work order issued or not.
But you believe work has stopped?
Work, yeah. From our site visit from about 2 weeks ago, it's evident that no work has taken place over the last month or so.
Well, I'd certainly concur that no filling can occur without a project. And this particular application, based on that, would qualify for denial. However, the work has already been started. I would offer a recommendation that we continue this to next month.
Okay.
To give the applicant time to tell us what their plan is before we deny the application and move forward with code enforcement.
Yeah, we would be okay with that.
Could we have a motion to continue?
Motion to continue.
Second.
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? Any comments from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, this motion is approved and it will be continued to the November TRC at 8:30 in this room.
Thank you.
Thank you. This brings us to number 10, the Westwood Autism Center request to approve a minor development order. This project's been reviewed by Vivian Shamlin.
This is a minor development order application requesting to construct 4,538 square foot farm-based learning program center on plus or minus 10 acres with a future land use of estate residential. Project is located at 4390 Highway 20 West. We have just a few comments from engineering, and that's all that is outstanding, with the exception of we do want to verify with the fire department that the access is adequate. That is all that I have on that.
Tom Talty for the applicant with ECM Engineering. We concur. I've just emailed for additional surveys as requested, so as soon as we get that, we will submit.
Okay. Do we have a recommended motion?
Yes, I think this is an exciting project, and I would like to request a motion to conditionally approve the project pending resolution of all outstanding comments.
Thank you, Vivian. We have a motion on the floor. As this is a minor development order, we're going to open a public hearing to take comments from our public at this time. Anyone from the public wishing to speak on this particular proposed development? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. And we have a motion on the floor. All in favor, please say aye. Or maybe we don't have a motion yet. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, this motion is approved. We'll move to development order subject to satisfaction of comments. And I apologize for jumping ahead on a project kind of like this. That every now and then we get projects that we're really interested in, that we really are happy that are happening, and this is certainly one of those. It's going to be great for our community. Let's move to item number 11, Rock Hill Road, cell tower. This has been reviewed by Renee Bradley.
This is a major development order application to construct a 250-foot cellular tower. The project's located north of Rock Hill Road. This is within a 12.9 acre parcel. The compound area is 5,625 square feet. There is no major technical comments from planning. Actually, I've received response to most of the comments already via email. There's one survey comment. I didn't get any comments from the North Walton Fire District, so we're still pending those. I don't expect to have anything. We have our standard conditions, NPDES permits and environmental resource permits. And I would make a recommendation that we move this project forward to the Planning Commission in response to all outstanding comments.
Thank you, Renee. Comments from the applicant?
Jake Dickinson, Dickinson, with IntegraSite on behalf of Branch Towers. We've been addressing most of the comments. We've already got half of the items in already, and there shouldn't be any problem getting the remainder.
Thank you, sir. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
We have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second to approve subject to comment satisfaction prior to moving to Planning Commission. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item will move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Question about this project.
Yes, ma'am.
Renee, how does this project compare to the one that was approved on Seacroft?
This is not a temporary tower. This tower is permanent tower. Yes, ma'am.
Is this one in the middle of a subdivision, or is it a vacant area?
It's on a large parcel, which, if I recall correctly, there is a residential home on part of this property, but it has plenty of radius for the fall zone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Item number 12, the camp watercolor pool, request to approve by minor development order. This has been reviewed by Renee Bradley.
This is a minor development order request, requesting approval to reconfigure an existing pool facility in 2 additional pools, which is at the location it's called Camp Watercolor, and to expand the existing clubhouse facility within this area. Planning had a few outstanding comments. I've actually received a summary letter that depicts better description of what they're trying to accomplish out there. There's also an outdoor bar and clubhouse addition, from my understanding. I was missing some architectural plans for the clubhouse if we were doing any addition there, and I was having a few issues understanding exactly what we were doing with this project. But I don't see any outstanding comments that should keep them from moving forward to the development order stage once those comments are met. So I would make a motion that we move this forward to the development order stage once we have satisfactory of all outstanding comments.
Thank you. Applicant?
Hey, good morning. I'm David Smith with Interline Engineering, and as Renee presented, I've reviewed the staff report. I have no questions. We have been coordinating on the comments, so we would request to move forward, please. And that's it.
Thank you, David.
Okay, thank you.
As this is a minor development order, we will open a public hearing at this time to entertain any comments on this proposed development from our audience. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and we'll move to a motion. Do we have a motion from the board?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Sammy to move this project forward, subject to satisfaction of comments to development order. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This motion carries, subject to satisfaction of comments, so we'll move forward to development order. Thank you. Item number 13 is the Prominence Phase 4 plat, request to approve by final plat. This has been reviewed by Renee Bradley.
This is a plat application requesting to plat 132 multifamily triplex units. This project is on 11.37 acres with future land use traditional neighborhood within the Prominence Plan Unit Development and DRI. The project is located north of County Road 30A. We do have some outstanding comments from surveying, which are quite a few. In my recollection, we have 8. And we have a couple of comments from environmental in reference to the preservation greenway area and the dedication, which we're taking care of on the plat. I would like to mention that mosquito control also had some comments on this project in reference to being able to spray that area. And what we were proposing is to do a blanket easement for mosquito control to be able to enter the Greenway corridor area to spray. And we're requesting the applicant to provide us that. We think that this is a safety issue, a health and safety issue with some of the things that we've had. And even though this is a preservation area, well, staff feels that it's very important that we make sure that mosquito control can get to these lots. So we'd like a condition of this moving forward that we get that easement.
Thank you, Renee. David?
Hello again. I'm David Smith with Interline Engineering, and I've talked to Renee a couple times. Ben and I have talked a few times too, and we have no objection to the easement. So all the comments are minor, as Renee mentioned. So we'll make sure we get the easement in place for access to the Greenway corridor area. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you all have.
Thank you, David.
I do have a question. How many more units are going on this entire project?
There's one more phase that's currently under construction on the south. It's single-family residential, and I believe it's 83 homes, and that's the last phase of Prominence.
But nothing else on the north side?
This is it on the north.
We're going to be done.
That's it.
That's it.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Easement condition satisfactory to mosquito control?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, could I also add, sir, that we do have recreational fees that are pending, transportation fees. So we have some fees that are outstanding on this project as well that have to be paid prior to us moving this project forward to the BCC.
I think those are identified in the staff report.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any further discussion of this particular item? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve subject to conditions, satisfaction of conditions. Do we have a second?
Second.
We got a second by Bill. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, this motion carries. Let's move forward to Board of County Commissioners, subject to satisfaction of comments. This will bring us to item number 14, the UPAD temporary parking request to approve minor development order, project reviewed by Renee Braddock.
First, I would like to clarify the applicant's requesting this not to be temporary parking because they'd like for this parking lot to remain longer than a year. I don't think that time is sufficient for them. They are providing landscaping and everything as though they're doing a permanent parking lot, and therefore staff doesn't have any objection. This is a 133 space parking lot on 1.45 acres. In Coastal Center, the project is north of US Highway 98 at the Grand Boulevard Shopping Center. All comments that we have are very minor. Other than that, this project will need to go to the Design Review Board for approval for the landscape plan along US Highway 98. We are requesting that, and we have also provided the applicant, which came in a little later than I've given the staff report, but they've also had a scenic corridor review from Tim Brown for that. I would request that we move this project forward based on all comments being met and going to the design review board for approval.
Thank you, Renee. Since this is a minor development order, we'll open a public hearing. Do we have any comments from the public on this proposed development? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to move this forward, subject to outstanding, satisfaction of outstanding comments to the design review board.
The only discussion I have is that the conditions state that this is good for 1 year and we're gonna make it a permanent parking lot.
That is correct.
So we don't wanna include that in our motion.
No, we do not. That's why I was trying to clarify. It will be a permanent parking lot, will not be 1 year. They can keep the parking lot there until such time they have development plans for that parcel.
So we're gonna delete item number 2 in your conditions of approval?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Thank you. This motion, or this item moves forward to the design review board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that brings us to number 15, the Kaya PD 30A right-of-way improvements. Request to approve a minor development order, and this has been reviewed by Rita.
Yes, sir. This is a minor development order application submitted by Jenkins Engineering. It's proposing right-of-way improvements along right-of-way 30A, County Road 30A, along the Kaya PUD. The Kaya PUD was approved by the Board of County Commissioners in May of 2016 with the condition that right-of-way improvement will require a county public works right-of-way improvement, right-of-way use permit, and this minor application is the review of that improvement for the planning department. Planning department has a few non-technical questions. Basically to show who's going to be maintaining the stormwater and the landscape within the right-of-way. Engineering has a number of comments. They are technical. Other than that, as far as planning department, I would recommend this to be conditionally approved unless Public Works would like to continue it so they can address those comments.
I believe they can address those comments without it being continued to the next TRC. We can work through that.
Then I don't have a problem with recommending it to be conditionally approved.
Okay, thank you, Rita. For the applicant?
Scott Jenkins with Jenkins Engineering, and Rick Borst is also here with the applicant. We did get your comments, and as Rita said, there's several comments from Planning Department that are centered around the agreement between the county and the actual right-of-way agreement, which the attorney for the applicant and Sydney have been working on getting all that in place. The few comments from engineering are mostly just coordination letters from utilities and things like that, and then a couple of pretty minor technical things that we can address without any problem. So we really didn't have any questions.
Thank you. Just for the benefit of our public, these improvements as proposed were conditionally approved when this development was originally approved, conditionally and with phase 1 full technical. And one of those conditions in that development order was that this project in the right-of-way be reviewed for technical review and be subject to a right-of-way agreement with Public Works to be ratified by the Board of County Commissioners. So subject to satisfaction of comments, this would move forward to Board of County Commissioners for approval of the right-of-way agreement for the actual improvements in the right-of-way. Since this is a minor development, again, subject to a right-of-way agreement approved by the Board of County Commissioners, we're going to open a public hearing to see if we have any comments from the public on this proposed improvement. Do we have any comments from the public? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. And we have a recommended motion. We have a motion from the dais.
Motion to approve, subject to all comments and conditions being met.
We have a
Second.
motion and a second by Ben. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, this item will move forward to right-of-way
Thank you.
agreement at the Board of County Commissioners, subject to outstanding comments. And this brings us to item number 16, the Arbor Lane Commercial Development. This is a minor development being reviewed by Tim Brown.
Yes, thank you. This request is to construct a 1,398 square foot commercial building and associated infrastructure on 0.16 acres with the future land use of VMU. Property is located on the north side of Arbor Lane, west of County Road 283 South.
Thank you, Tim.
The only outstanding comments are from planning. All the other departments have signed off on the project, so we have 5 outstanding planning comments.
From the applicant?
Scott Jenkins with Jenkins Engineering. We did receive the comments, and they are really minor, so we don't have any questions or issues with them.
Thank you. Since this is a minor development, we'll open a public hearing. Do we have any comments on this proposed project from our audience? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Do we have a motion from the dais?
I recommend approving the project pending resolution of all the remaining outstanding comments and go into development order.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second by Anna. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, motion carries. This has been approved, subject to comments. And that will bring us to item number 17. This is lot 28 in the South Walton Commerce Park. Request to approve by major development order, or final order. It's a major development order application reviewed by Tim Brown.
Thank you. This request is to develop 2 industrial buildings totaling 11,750 square feet on 0.88 acres with a future land use of business park. It's located on the east side of Serenoa Road, north of Highway 98. We've got again, it looks like the only outstanding, well, there's an outstanding fire comment, and then we have outstanding planning comments. Those are the only outstanding comments at this time.
From the applicant?
Good morning. We've gone through the comments. There are landscaping comments that we'll comply with. Silence of the survey, obviously, we'll comply with. If it needs a fire hydrant, we'll add a fire hydrant, but we're ready to move forward.
Could you state your name for the record?
Apologize. Robert Carroll, McNeil Carroll Engineering, 17800 Panama City Beach Parkway.
Thank you, Robert. Again, this is a major development order application, and subject to this body's approval, will be moved forward to the Planning Commission. Do we have a proposed motion?
Recommend approval of the project pending resolution of all outstanding issues, comments, and move it forward to the Planning Commission.
Motion from the dais.
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
We have a motion to move this forward to Planning Commission, subject to satisfaction of outstanding comments. Any further discussion?
Robert, we can talk offline about
Sounds great. Thanks, Sam.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, this motion moves forward, or is approved, and this project moves forward to Planning Commission, subject to satisfaction of comment. That brings us to item number 18, the Miramar Beach Senior Living, request to approve by final order. This is a major development order application reviewed by Tim Brown.
Thank you. This is a request to develop an 186,470 square foot assisted living facility and associated improvements on 10.61 acres with a future land use of coastal center mixed use. It's located at the northeast corner of the intersection of Ponce de Leon Street and US Highway 98 West. There is currently an active code case on this property for the laydown yard. DOT has been using this property as a laydown yard for the Highway 98 West expansion. However, there's no approval on this property for that laydown yard. Looks like we have outstanding fire comments and planning comments are the only outstanding comments at this time.
Thank you, Tim. Comments from the applicant?
I'm Scott Jenkins with Jenkins Engineering, and we did get the comments and go through them. I think the majority of them are associated with landscaping items for design review board and a change to the access for fire, basically, which is not a problem. Really didn't have any other questions about any of them. Be happy to answer anything you guys have.
I do. What is the time frame for this project?
To be constructed?
Yes, sir.
I think they're planning on trying to start sometime in the first quarter of next year, so it'll be pretty soon.
With a due date of, just spitballing here?
Construction will probably take, I would guess, 12 to 14 months probably, somewhere around there.
Scott, there's a, I didn't make a comment, but I just would like to ask you a question right now. I kind of reviewed it late. The wetlands back there to the east side, there's an old remnant of when this was a mosquito control ditch there. It's a DOT ditch, but we managed it for many years. There's a small pipe back there that kind of serves as a pop-off for that wetland.
Yep.
I haven't talked to DOT about it, but will we have access to replace that if it ever was destroyed or filled in, or would it be?
Yeah, we're not proposing to really do anything back in that area, so I don't think it'd be a problem to allow y'all to access to maintain that area. That shouldn't be an issue at all. So,
thank you.
Recommended motion?
Recommend approval of the project pending resolution of all outstanding issues / comments and move it forward to the design review board.
Thank you, Tim. And the approval of a development order on this parcel will be the remedy for the code enforcement action.
Yes.
Do we have any further discussion? And again, this is a major development order. Do we have a motion from Dias?
Motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Sammy. To move this forward to Planning Commission, subject to satisfaction of comments. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Motion carried, and we'll move forward to Planning Commission, subject to satisfaction of comments.
Thank you.
And this brings us to the last item on our agenda this morning, the Stonegate subdivision plat. Request to approve a final plat. It's been reviewed by Tim Brown.
Thank you. This is a request to plat 69 single-family lots on 19.63 acres with the future land use of low-density residential. It's located on the west side of West Hewitt Road, north of Sierra Court, and south of Foxmire Drive. We have outstanding planning, engineering, and county surveyor comments. And then there's the associated fees, proportionate fair share, recreation fee, 911 fee, and the recording fee.
I think the map's in our staff report, or for a different project.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's Peach Creek.
Peach Creek?
No, that's not Beach Creek. That's off Old Fair.
That's Beach Creek.
No, I just forgot to switch them out. I was using Peach Creek as my template. I just forgot to switch them out. I'll take care of that immediately.
I think that's a minor technical issue. The project was reviewed based on the application and not the maps that are contained in the staff report.
That's right.
And I'm satisfied with that. This is a plat application that will move to the Board of County Commissioners subject to satisfaction of outstanding comments. Do we have any further discussion of this proposed plat? Recommended motion?
Recommend approving the project pending resolution of all outstanding issues/comments and moving it forward to the Board of County Commissioners.
You have a motion from the dais.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ben, seconded by Anna. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed likewise? Thank you. And Tim, if we could get a corrected staff report for our TRC record.
Yeah, I'll do that right away.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any further business before the committee this morning? Seeing none, we have a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Mac, I know you're